uh, it's getting more interesting as we go along. Um, I really feel that somebody has gone through these two units uh, prior to my purchase. But I think it's probably more of a foul play thing because the family came down and they were like, "Oh no, we don't."
Turn left on Mary Esther Boulevard.
And so, and the lady died, and she's in her late 80s, and she apparently had a surgery and didn't make it through. Was trying to recoup and left like 30 days after.
In 1 mile, turn right on Beale Parkway Northwest.
There's a lot of empty boxes, a lot of empty bins, stuff tossed around. Just doesn't make sense of how an 80-year-old woman would want the stuff put in the storages. Now, it could have been whoever moved the stuff there. The story is some kind of story of, the stuff was brought down from her Virginia house. And then she had a vacation house in Florida. And that's where she was kind of hanging out. She really enjoyed her vacation home. And so...
in 3/4 of a mile, turn right on Beale Parkway Northwest.
Because the writing on a lot of the boxes and the age of the boxes look old. It looks like an older person that wrote it, but nobody packs a box with 1/4 or half stuff in it. The stuff would be full. And a lot of these boxes are not full, and they don't match the description that's written on the outside. And there's like, in both units, one unit's full of the local corner store, the Tom Thumb cups, big giant Tom Thumb cups. They were thrown down in the floor next to the door. And so that tells me somebody was spending a lot of time going through that storage unit. The other unit has cans, empty cans of like a lemon lime soda pop. Several of those so far. And then there's a box or something that I opened. It had 3 bags of McDonald's stuff in it, which I'll go in there and I'll check the receipts. I'll see if there's receipts in there. Because it could be, the stuff is supposed to be there's like 7 years. And there's something screwball about it.
Turn right on Beale Parkway Northwest.
Man, I should have turned. So there's something a little bit screwball about it. Because, like, I found one, like a PS game. Just one. So either she was the greatest grandma in the world, and they had, a video game thing for kids or grandkids, whatever. I would imagine grandkids or great grandkids. But, I mean, do you really think, an 80-year-old woman's going to purchase a unit like that for that kind of money? I saw at Walmart, they're selling those things, and they're really expensive. And they looked like they were like $2.99 to like $5.99, And I was like, man, because I mean that's just the unit. That's without games. And
continue on North Beale Parkway.
So I'm having problems with it. Now there's a lot of stuff in there, like boxes with addresses on them and names, like it was something that was shipped to somebody, and then some paperwork and stuff with different people's names, like girls' names and stuff. So here's what I'm thinking, because the company and the people that I purchased those from are pretty straight up. But I'm thinking that it could have possibly been whoever was handling handling that storage complex may have been going through storages instead of auctioning them off and then compiling stuff from a lot of different storages into that unit or both units. Because the stuff doesn't make sense. The stuff that's in there does not make sense. Like there's the plastic shoebox from like Dollar Tree that has a bunch of crayons in it. Now those units will get over 200 degrees when it's warm in Florida. Those crayons should be melted. And if the storage was termed at 7 or so years, you would think that those crayons would have already been melted. So I'm thinking those have been brought in from somewhere else. Like somebody had their kids with them and they were going through those two units. I also found a drill. Okay. And it's one of those, what do you call them, drills? That it have a battery pack on them, they're cordless. But it only has one bit with it. And it's in the original box and the paperwork, but all the bits are missing. Now, somebody could have opened that and dumped it all over the floors. I don't know. You know, they may have been going through that stuff in the dark. It could have been a relative or a friend that was visiting this lady and got access to the keys and was going through those units without her knowing. Now this lady apparently wasn't very mobile or mobile. It was some story about she was having a hip replacement and that's what messed her up. She was trying to recoup from that and went temporarily to the nursing home for like a month to try to start walking again and stuff, and she just died. So I don't imagine she was the one creeping and crawling through those storages at all. I think somebody else was. So, it's kind of interesting. I mean, there's stuff in there that has, a little bit of value. There's some speakers to a newer stereo system, like, around the 90s or whatever, when they started compacting the stereos where, everybody stopped buying all those big receivers and all that stuff. And so, there should be a stereo in there. If there's a PS game in there, there should be a PS gaming system in there. But I have a funny feeling that they went through and were just hijacking stuff out of those units because there's boxes that appear open all the way in the back. And there's too many empty containers and boxes. There's just too many. There's just strange stuff. Like I found in the piano unit, I found 2 stamps just laying there, like really old postage stamps. They were nice, neat, and clean. That makes it seem to me that somebody hauled a stamp collection out of there and dropped some of it. Okay? Because I used to be very avid in stamp collecting when I was like 11 years old or so. And, I used to load the stamps into the album until I got more of the little glue down things. The hinges, they call them. You lick it and stick it kind of thing. And then when I would get, another bag of those little hingy things, which you had to go to a stamp store to get those, you couldn't buy them at the same stores where you could buy the stamps at, because I used to buy mine online, well, not online, by mail through 3 different stamp companies on approval. And then at Salon Drug Store, they used to sell really neat packages of stamps. So, instead of buying a toy, I would buy, a stamp package. It was like an 8x10 jobber that had all kinds of stamps on there. It was like, oh, good, I need this. And it was pretty pricey. But, So I don't know. Now the drill makes me wonder too. They might have brought that drill in there and didn't belong to the unit, and maybe they were trying to access something that could have been a safe in there. There might still be a safe in there. They might have been spending their time trying to drill out a safe. Uh, there's a lot of jukebox records. There's a whole box of them, and I know because of the labels. Like in my club, I used to own all the records from the jukebox that we paid rent on, and I sued that jukebox company too for not completing that contract, the term contract with me or the previous owners. And I won in California. I won. I beat the company. I believe the name was Rockola, and I beat them hands down in court. And by that time, I had already gone to the downtown LA uh, auctions, restaurant auctions, and I had bought a jukebox, and that I fell in love with, and beautiful thing. It was so much nicer than the one that was in there that was, rented to me. So anyway, at this point, I think that uh, somebody's definitely gone through those storages and done it several times because of all the used drink cups and stuff. Um, and I don't know if you heard me before because the video ended. I couldn't see it while I was driving. I found a cordless drill in there, and I don't know what the date is on it. It has the original book in there and stuff, and I have to look at it to see what the date is on it because if the date is more recent than like the last 7 years, um, or 7 years ago, then it's something that was brought in there, and there's only one bit with it. It's not even loaded into it. It's a drill with a bit in a box. Now, I could have dropped all the bits on the floor, but who knows? But then again, they may have been trying to access something. Maybe there was a safe in there. I've never got an auction storage with a safe in it. Never have. Um, it doesn't always happen that way. But again, Drew pays storages for 7.5 years, and there's not value in the units. So, it's kind of interesting. But the jukebox records that I found in the not piano unit um, makes me think there's a possibility of somebody was servicing equipment like that, or there's a jukebox in that unit and they pulled the records out to keep them nice and not ruin them from transporting a jukebox jiggling around in a truck. You know what I mean? So I don't know. That PS game that I found makes me wonder if there was a bunch of them in there and maybe a PS console. So, whoa. Man, there's all kinds of stuff going on here. So that could be very interesting. I
In 1 3/4 miles,
there's so
take
many
the
empty
exit
boxes
on the right
and
to State Route 123 North toward I-10.
and plastic totes that are empty or half full, and boxes that are half full, and the boxes don't match the description written on the outside of the box to what's inside. Just kind of thrown around in there. It looks really like it's been gone through. So, hopefully, maybe they missed some really good stuff. I don't know. There is some stuff there that is sellable. But it takes time to list all that stuff and stuff. You know, and all that stuff should be virtually immaculate clean, packed away, and never opened in any box. But this stuff's like wide open. So I don't know. I haven't been feeling too hot the past few days, and called in
In
sick
3/4
today
of a
for
mile,
today.
take the exit
Did that
on the right
yesterday. I hated
to
do
State
that.
Route 123 North toward I-10.
I make pretty good money, and but maybe I can get a little bit more rest. Try to move some of this stuff around too. I'm feeling kind of icky. And let's see where we're at. I wished I had the time just to stop the bus and just keep working on these 2 units because I want to relocate them. That's the biggest problem. I really want to relocate them. It's too hot.
Take the exit on the right
I've done it
to
before in
State
my
Route
heat
123 North toward Udpen.
before, and it's absolutely horrible to deal with. Oh, this is the right way.
Continue on ramp.
But this place is so far away. But I don't know. We'll see what's actually left on there. You know, I mean, Corningware is a good score. I said, if I could at least get a bunch of pieces of Corningware, and keep what I want and sell the rest off. There's a really good resale to Corningware. And that's the stuff my mother used. She was really into that. It was a nouveau thing. It was space age. You could drop it. It's not supposed to break. You could take it from a hot oven and put it in the freezer and it wouldn't break. It was the thing. Now, I have seen one broken. We actually did break one at one point. But they were never supposed to break. The original Corningware. And there's several different ones. You can tell by the patterns on the front of the Corningware. Like my mother had the baby blue pattern. And she had all the pieces and all the connector pieces and all the things that go with it. And that was a big deal. I've always liked them because I like to cook in them. And then you can also store it in the fridge right after you cook in the pan. That was kind of cool. But I just like them. Cast iron's wonderful. A lot of people really favor cast iron, but I'm gonna tell you, as you get older, that stuff gets heavier, and it's a living nightmare to pick a lot of that crap up. So I never was a real avid collector of cast iron. Now my mother loved a cast iron, one cast iron frying pan. She loved them and showed me how to season them and all that stuff and clean them, but I really hate them. Great to cook it, but God, they're just too heavy. Especially when you have to move, and pack that stuff up. God, they're just so heavy. But, so I don't know. There's, some revenue in there. I'm not going to say it's what I paid for the units. The piano could be well over what I paid for the units. The problem is getting rid of it. And yes, I would love to keep it. I love things like cars, kids, things. I just love things. But right now I don't have a roof to put it under. You know what I mean? So, if it was a really righteous baby grand or a player piano, I would really have trouble cutting it loose. But you got to think sensibly because right now I'm having to finance another unit to transport this stuff into because it's too hot to sort and play with it. And I want to get it out of there because I don't want to pay the rents out there and I want to have to keep driving back and forth and all that stuff. It would save my life more if I could stay as much out of the heat as I can. So the option is going to be just quick sorting, make sure there's no like rats or snakes or anything in boxes or anything illegal that I would be transporting in my vehicle and then putting into a new unit, and then sort a lot of it out later and stuff and show you guys where we're at. But I mean, it's interesting. We'll see. But I really have a funny feeling I have a very strong feeling it's whoever worked there before at that storage company that was going through storages and has gone through those units. So, and then a possible compilation of other units where they threw this stuff in there, like, you know, piled it all in there for themselves kind of thing, you know what I mean? Because there's too many names, different names and stuff like that. I mean, there's 2 briefcases that were virtually empty. You know, that's kind of strange. So, there's stuff, too much stuff's moved around where it wouldn't be. Like 3 computer screens right in the front of the storage unit. Why is that? You know, I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. They would be with the computers, or they would be with a bunch of computer stuff because somebody was building them. I used to build computers. I had tons of computer stuff, but I kept it all together. All my disks, all my parts, all the shelves, all the units, screens, towers, all that stuff, laptops. I kept them all together. Well, I hope I got the right way here. I don't know. We'll sure find out. What a pretty view, huh? It's so bright. Yesterday it was so hot it had to be 110 outside for heat factor. It was just really vicious. So today I'm going to try, I emptied a bunch of stuff out of the car. I'm going to try to move stuff. I'm trying not to spend too much money on these 2 units by renting U-Hauls and stuff. Even though I would do so much better if I'd got a U-Haul van for a day or 2. I'm going to try to move a bunch of stuff back and forth and try, if I can get the 1 unit empty, they're not full to the ceiling. That's another thing that bothers me. Who rents 2 10x20s and they're not full to the ceiling? You know what I mean? So, I really think a lot of stuff's been hijacked out of there. But we'll see what's left for us, and we'll kind of go from there. I wish my youngest daughter could have gone on this journey because she would get a kick out of this. But we'll see what happens. You know, what we run across today. And I'll do some quick opening videos where we're starting at this point today from the stuff that I held out yesterday. I didn't get to do my vlog of what I brought back. I'm just trying to clear space to get through those storages because stuff's just tossed everywhere. I thought maybe it had fallen down, fallen over, whatever, but it looks very much like it's been gone through because the boxes are like half full and stuff like that. I'm not finding too much in nice and neat order except for a big tote with a bunch of videotapes in it, like movies, and then that box that had all those jukebox records, but what it said on the box was not what matched the contents. See what I'm saying? So we'll see. And then I found a bunch of little jewelry gift boxes that were like brand new, with jewelry missing out of them, and it found some other ones down, tumbled around other stuff on the floor, which gives me the idea they were just going through stuff at night and dropping stuff. And those boxes still had brand new jewelry in them. I mean, with the plastic baggie on it and everything. I haven't looked at it to see if it's anything real good. It could be, gift jewelry when you order stuff and do mail order and that. I had some people that were like second parents to me, the Bonds, out in Fayetteville, Tennessee, and I used to stay with them when I would come in town to work, and they were just precious, and I used to call them Mom and Pop. And she had one spare bedroom, the bedroom that I stayed in. She would always say, "This is your room." And that bedroom was full of boxes that had boxes in them. And she'd show me and she'd giggle. She'd say, "Look, I got this free when I ordered, the electric blanket, and then I got this free, and then and so she had all these free cheapy things, like Dollar Tree looking stuff, that they would send you a free gift if you ordered stuff. And so she had all this multiple stuff, brand new in the boxes that she just kept piling into that bedroom in boxes. And I mean, God, she must have had 20 big boxes of boxes in there. Nice and neatly done and everything. I mean, would have made a great yard sale, actually. But they were all little thingies, like, whatever the newest kitchen invention was. It was in plastic, that shaved potatoes or something, all kinds of weird stuff. But she used to giggle. She said, "Look at all this stuff." That she used to sit around making baby blankets and afghans and quilts, and then she would sell them in her own yard sale, really cheap. And I said, "Man, you could be getting hundreds for those quilts, because that's something that a lot of people don't do anymore. All those old things, the cross stitch, the embroidery, the quilts, the stuff that I grew up with. And my mother could knit. She tried to teach me, and God, I can only knit a chain. That makes me so mad. I tried years later and bought books and kits and everything else and all the pretty needles. I was so damn mad I couldn't do nothing but a chain. I can crochet. She showed me how to crochet, and I can crochet some stuff. I have trouble reading a pattern. It's very, very hard for me to understand a crochet pattern. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. It's sort of like doing algebra. I can do calculus, but I can't do algebra. It took me years to do algebra. Years and years and years. I learned it in college. But just adding an A and a B squared by 3 just was kind of beyond me. I said, being a famous fashion designer, I'm not going to use that ever in my life, so it makes no sense to me. But I did have to learn it in time, because I chased my own dream. My dream to be a mechanical engineer. Sure did. That was amazing. That was so amazing. And I would really love to go back into that field, if I could get a place and have a roof, be sorted, and have that kind of stability. I would really enjoy, engineering job, kind of like a side gig or something, and then continue with, my fashion design work and stuff. But we'll see. We'll see what the world has to bring. But time runs out. Every day counts. I wished maybe I had done more when I was younger, maybe. I've done a ton. I know a lot of stuff. A lot of people go, "Man, all the stuff you know, you'd have to be 200 years old." Well, yeah, I guess. I love learning. I try to learn everything I can learn. And, so I've stayed busy, worked all my life, really done well. My only really bad investments were some men that I was with. I look back and I go, God, I was so naive. That term, young and dumb, I was a little bit of that. I have to admit. I'm not going to say I was perfect. I was fooled by a lot of people that I trusted. Today, I'll tell you, looking back, don't trust anybody but yourself. There's no one to trust but yourself. Forget that. How many of those people when I left home are still around today that I even talked to? 2? Fair warning to those that are young. But anyway, we're going to go on our treasure hunt today, the treasure chest. See what we can drag out today and see what we can see. Be pretty interesting. There's a safe in there they couldn't get into. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great one, and I'll see you in the next vlog. Love you. Always hunt for that treasure chest. Because you never know. You never know. But we're in it to win it. That's right. See you in the next one. Love you.